Testing, testing, 1 2 1 2. Just light on red. Let's see. All right, shalom, shalom, shalom. This is Harawan by Yasha Allah of the Lions Den Camp, located right here in Jacksonville, Florida. Before I begin, I want to say Kal Halayim, La Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Harakah Kodash, Ma'amaf. Double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and the elders, and shalom to you, Akim, and Akwatim, children that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth. All right. This lesson today, actually the date is May 13th, 2026 AD. Time is 6:50 a.m. All right, on my watch. This lesson right here is going to be a response to a question within the camp about the word the rib, okay, in Genesis. All right, hold on one second. This is a debated topic amongst scholars, amongst churches, amongst people. What the rib means. Was it a physical rib? Was the rib a allegory or metaphor for something else? Was it a physical rib, like a bone? So let's get into that. This is gonna be a response to one of the brothers' questions within the camp. So hopefully it's edifying, man. I kind of don't know where to start from. It's gonna be a scattered, but very focused lesson. And let's see where the spirit takes us, man. All right. I guess I'll start from Genesis. Genesis chapter 2. Well, if you look at the picture, I made a little depiction with ChatGPT. All right. Now again, it's supposed to be what? Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. All right. And once you understand the story of creation, you understand that Adam and Eve were dark skinned, natural hair. They had clothes. They weren't walking around butt naked. All right. A lot of people just don't understand, man. They weren't, the clothing of that time, they had clothing, man. They had garments to wear, but when it says they sewed fig leaves, that was a parable. All right. They weren't walking around butt ass naked. All right. So now, just looking at the picture, this kind of tells you a bulk of the story, where you can see where Eve was brought to him. All right. She was brought to Adam. All right. So the word Adam in the Hebrew is Adama, which means from the ground. You understand that the Lord made us from the dust of the ground, not from the dirt, but from the dust, right? The grainy dust. The Lord took the elements and put us together. But he made many people at that time. It wasn't just Adam and Eve, like these two individuals on the earth. All right. They were called the Adamites, meaning people from the ground. So let's get a precept proving that. Start off with that. Let's start off with let's go to Genesis 1:27. All right, Genesis 1:27. And it says, so Yahweh created man. Man is actually a plural word as well, meaning people. But so Yahweh created man, or Elohim, the powers created man in his own image. All right, having knowledge, power and dominion and laws. Right, opposite of animals. So he gave us dominion as well. All right, in his image and wisdom. In the image of the Elohim, the powers in heaven, created he him. Male and female created he them. All right, so it was multiple. It says them, male and female. So this is the setting where he just created man, and then he created females. but he hadn't put them together yet. He hadn't set up marriages yet. You feel me? Set everything in order, just like he created the sun, moon, and stars. But then on the fourth day, he put them in order. Right? That's what people gotta understand. So he'll create something first, and then he'll put it in order later. All right, once it's fully developed, just like us. So male and female created he them. So it was multiple people on the earth, not just um, two individuals. All right. So matter of fact, to prove that, let's go to Genesis. What is it, 4? Genesis 4, I think it is. Let's go to Genesis 4 with Cain. All right. Where is it at? Mm, this is at the Cain slayed Abel, and then he ran. Hold up. And the Lord put a curse upon him. Here you go. This is Genesis 4 um, and 12. When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. Talking about Cain. A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth. Why? Because Cain was going to be chased by other people. All right. The Lord put a mark on him, which we believe was leprosy. All right. Took his pigmentation away and had him walking around like that, made him a target. All right. Um, and Cain said unto Yahweh, my punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, from amongst the people. And from thy face shall I be hid out of his presence, all right? And, and I sh- and I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth, and it shall come to pass that every one that findeth me, during his time period, shall slay me. All right, so everyone, meaning it was more people at that time. All right. And Yahweh said unto him, therefore, whosoever, meaning those people around during the time of Cain, right? Adam and Eve had Cain and Abel, uh, both Adam's children. One was just spiritually wicked. But whosoever, meaning there was more people around, slay of Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. So there was more males and men around. Right there, let you know him, meaning there was men. All right. Parabolically looked at as trees that bear fruit, that have seed, right? That's us. That's the trees, but moving trees. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain, lest any finding him should unalive him. And Cain went out from the presence of the Lord and dwelt in the land of Nod on the east of Eden. So the Lord was dealing with, just like he was dealing with Jerusalem. He had an altar there. The Lord was dealing with the land of Eden. That was like his enclosure for the church, at that time for Adam. The Lord was going to establish Adam, and he was telling Adam to trust him. He was going to build a life around Adam. All right. Um, and that's when Adam fell because he didn't trust the Lord. He trusted himself instead of trusting Yahweh. All right, trusting his wisdom. And scriptures say wisdom is a pure influence flowing from the Most High himself. So if we're not influenced by that, we're influenced by ourselves or the world, following our own heart. So this land of Eden is what the Lord was dealing with, right? But Cain went out from there, and Cain knew his wife. Whoa, so Cain had wives. He had a wife, all right? So there were women around. So it shows that there were men that could hunt him down, and there were women that he could take to wife during the time of Adam and Eve. So it wasn't just one male or one female, it was multiple, all right? A community of people. Just like you have the world today, they will be looked at as the trees. of which we're not supposed to eat the fruit of, meaning following after this world in their words and their ways. We're supposed to trust Yahweh. All right. So and Cain knew his wife. So he had intimacy with his woman, which was probably his kinfolk, cousin, and she conceived and bare Enoch. All right. And builded a city. So how can one man build a city? If it was just Cain, how you gonna build a city if he was by himself? All right. And called the name of the city after the name of his son Enoch. And unto Enoch was born Irad, et cetera, right? And Lamech took unto him two wives. So it was women all around during that time. And there was men around too that could hunt him down. All right. So let's go back. I'm gonna go here. It says here, it's another one, Genesis 5:2. Male and female created he them. All right. So this was the Lord establishing a male and establishing a female, and then saying, hey, this male is going to be the dominant species over the female, the sidekick, the helpmeet, the fellow heir of salvation, but not equal to the man, but not lesser than a man either. Meaning she was his rib, not his foot to be stomped on, and not his head to be over him. She was his rib, meaning his side piece, sidekick. All right. And she wasn't an animal like a damn deer or a lion or some shit. So he named all the animals, looked all around, but nothing, no, none of those animals could serve him, like cattle and stuff like that. None of them could serve him in the way that a woman could serve him. All right. So the Lord brought him a helpmeet suitable for him from amongst his people, from among his kinfolk. All right. Male and female created he them and blessed them and called their name Adam, plural, called their name Adam. So they were called the Adamites, people from the ground. In the day when they were created, they were created. All right, plural. So he called their name Adam. All right. So these were people from the ground, Adamites. It wasn't just one or two individuals. We had to start there. So now let's get into the story of Adam and Eve and deal with the word the rib. All right, the rib. What is it talking about? When you say, I found my rib, this is my rib. All right, let's get into it. I don't want to start from too high up here. Share this tab. I'm gonna share this, let y'all see where I'm at. All right, so let's start from damn, I want to read this real quick though. Maybe I should read the whole chapter. It's not that long. I'll read the whole chapter real quick. I just hope I don't veer off. I don't want to veer off. So if I skip anything, I'm just trying to get to the point. All right, Genesis 2:1. Thus the heavens or the universe, all right, you can say the universe, sun, moon, and stars, everything was created. And after it was created, it was put in order. All right. Um, and this was 5,054 BC. 5,554 BC. All right. So the Earth is basically like damn near 14,000 years old. All right. Or if you really understand, like when he created heaven, sun, moon, and stars, how long that took. All right. And then establishing humanity. So thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. See, and planets. And on the seventh day, Yahweh ended his work which he had made. All right, through his angels, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made. And Elohim blessed the seventh day and sanctified it. All right. So you're basically securing everything. Like this is what it's going to be. All right. Sealing it. This is what it's going to be. That's what it's going to be. This is good. That's what it's going to be. And imagine that he's saying, this is good. That's good. And then when it say, don't follow these people, man. Don't listen to them. And like, it, and then imagine the Lord telling you that, and then you don't listen to him. That's not good. You feel me? So the Lord knows what's good, not us. And that's when Adam fell. And we're beginning to understand that today. All right, verse 4. These are the generations of the heavens and of the earth when they were created. You can say the universe and the earth. In the day that Yahweh, the Elohim, made the earth and the heavens, and every plant of the field before it was in the earth, meaning before the seed sprouted up. Right. So he already had seeds in the earth, but they hadn't sprouted up yet because there was no rain. Right. But the seeds were there, just like us. The seed was there for our people, but we needed the water. Now we're beginning to sprout up. Creation all over again. We ran full circle just to get back to the beginning. Think about it. What's coming up? Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning. Starting with Adam again, the Adam from heaven. Anyway, so that's Adam from heaven that's sitting in the Eden of heaven right now, the paradise or enclosure, waiting for his Eve, his bride. Same thing over again, man. Just doing it right. And every plant of the field before it was in the earth, before the seed sprouted, and every herb of the field before it grew. See? For Yahweh, Elohim had not caused it to rain upon the earth, and there was not a man to till the ground. See, he had no workers. He ain't had nobody there. It was just him. The Lord, the Lord took this. Well, so like at first it was nobody there in this area. All right. So now he had nobody to rule the earth. To set things in order. Right. But I'm gonna get to the other point I was about to make. But there went up a mist from the earth. Okay. They call it the dew in the morning, and the springs that would come out of the earth, causing moisture on the earth. And then that process plus the sun would heat the earth up during the day, and at night it creates cold, which creates a mist, and that creates dew in the morning. All right. Then you have the springs that would come out of the ground and watered the whole face of the earth, of the ground, in those areas, right? So the garden was being taken care of. Heaven was already being prepared. Make sense? And Yahweh Elohim formed man of the dust of the ground. All right. Some people say it was the ocean. Some people say it was dirt, but notice it says dust. That's very important. All right. Dust represents elements or what we call atoms, right? Grains that can be put together. Dirt is something that's compound or has reached its um, first stage of formation. So it went from dust to dirt, and dirt goes from something to something else, right? But dust represents the elements, the world of matter, all right? And Yahweh formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, all right? Gave him knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of that time. This individual, Adam. So he already created humans, male and female, that were just naked spiritually, meaning this individual Adam had not sinned, but clearly other individuals were naturally just off in the spirit, not following the Lord. Because who was that individual that walked up to Eve and said, "Don't listen to him. You'll be able to be like a god. You'll be just like him if you know good and evil. You do it your way. You listen to me or you listen to yourself instead of listening to him." That was the first sin right there. All right. the path, two paths, man, in life, to follow Yahweh and trust Him that He's going to build us, or do it our own way, and it's going to lead to destruction. That's the knowledge of good and evil versus the tree of life that leads to life, right? Trust in the Lord. It wasn't a physical tree. All right. So the breath of life, so gave him understanding. All right. It gave life to all humanity and forms of wisdom, but he gave life to this individual Adam, just like he did with us. And man became a living soul. All right. Um, Now they already had people living before that, but just like now, they call it what? The congregation of the dead. So 2/3 of our people are spiritually dead. These heathens are naturally spiritually dead. You see that? They're like the trees of the woods. But a living soul is just like Ezekiel 37, you know, build us up spiritually and give us the breath. And verse 8, and Yahweh Elohim planted a garden eastward in Eden, and there he put the man whom he had created. So mind you, he just created people, male and female, a community, just people, the world, all right, just like the forest or the trees, just the world, right? Nature. Um, but then he created this one individual, and he took him and brought him into an enclosure. It wasn't a garden like that's why I made this picture. It was like this. It was more so like this, an enclosure where the Lord can just deal with this individual at and make him a king, make him the ruler over everything, not just the animals. But was it just through physical might? No, he's gonna have him rule through wisdom. But he listened to man and fell. All right. So he brought this man to an enclosure. And as this man was there, let's see what happened. And Yahweh planted a garden or an enclosure eastward in Eden. And there he put the man whom he had formed. All right. Whom he had formed. Now let's get this. Check this out. This is where it was. Some people say it's the same burial place as Abraham. Uh, you know, you never know. So anyway, let me keep going. All right. Eden. So it was at the tip of these rivers that would lead to it, that watered the garden, meaning it was resourceful. It was like a paradise. It was a place of focus and order, a place where he can be nurtured and taken care of and fed. The Lord had all the streams leading to that place, which brings what? Life, animals, fruitfulness, right? Shipping routes. He was about to build Adam up. He was going to rule from right there. So he placed a garden in Eden, all right, a meeting place, a place for the Lord to deal with him at. So imagine if he'd have brought Adam there and left him there by himself. He's just been like Yahushua. Like Yahushua said the same thing. He said, I would that those you have given me could be where I am, so they can see my glory that Yahweh gave them. And what did the scripture say? Let's read it. Share this tab. All right. It says, and Yahweh planted, I'm sure let you see, a garden eastward in Eden, and there he put the man whom he had formed. And out of the ground made Yahweh to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight. All right, see? All the trees started getting watered. They started sprouting up for this man. Right? The waters was watering his garden and good for food. All right. The tree of life also in the midst of the garden, meaning what? Order, righteousness. This was a place where the Lord could, his presence was there, all right, was in this enclosure, um, kind of like the altar, all right. And the tree of knowledge of good and evil was also set amongst these people. You might as well say, all right. So you had a choice to make. That's all that represents. Was it a physical tree? No. It was saying, um, here is righteousness and here is wickedness. They both on the earth now. Meaning it's two paths you could take. You're gonna listen to the Lord, or you're gonna do this right here. Watch this. Let me get this. This is Proverbs 1:29. All right. Now think about Adam and think about that serpent that walked up to Eve when I read this. Proverbs 1. I want to read more, but I just read quick. 28. No, 29. For that they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of Yahweh. That's what Adam didn't do. At that moment, and Eve too, she didn't choose to fear, and through her, Adam fell. But they didn't choose to fear Yahweh. All right, so there was no fear within them. They were naked, but not ashamed. They were basically natural beings. Like after Adam, we were all born into sin. But before Adam, if we were born, we should be born with no sin. All right, until we trespass, that's when we feel that shame. That's when they felt shame. The first moment of feeling shame or sin or having to repent. All right, that's what that means. They felt convicted. So they didn't fear the Lord and they realized it like, damn, we messed up. All right. They would none of my counsel. They despised all my reproof. Therefore shall they eat the fruit of their own way. There you go, the fruit. All right, the fruit from the tree of knowledge and good and evil, saying that what's good and what's right and wrong. We supposed to trust the Lord for that, to know good and evil upon this earth. But what does man do? They think they're guys. They think they know what's right and wrong. They set their own rules. All right, which leads to destruction, which is kind of like those leaves that Adam and Eve put upon themselves, frail, brittle, breakable, destructible. So, so in the midst of the garden, there was also the tree of knowledge and good and evil, meaning two choices there for Adam and Eve, for Adam. All right. So also in that presence. So even in this truth right now, we still have that same path. It's two ways you can go, left or right. All right. It's still set there, man. And all right. So and a river went out of Eden to water the garden. Wow, man. All right. And from thence it was parted and became into four heads. The name, so the whole area was beautified, man. All right, by the Most High. All of this, and basically enlarged his territory. All right. So we keep going. Share this tab. It's 7 o'clock. And a river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from thence it was parted and became into four heads. The name of the first was the Pison River. That is it which compasseth the whole land of Havilah, where there is gold. Wow. Gave him gold too. Come on, man. And the gold of that land is good. Imagine Esau heard that today. What? Gold of that land is good. But the gold of that land is good, man. And the Lord was telling him that, like, I got you. Don't worry about anything. Just like the Lord put us in our land, in Israel, the land of Canaan. He gave us that land through a promise he gave to Abraham. And he said, don't worry, when you get there, I got you. I already got it getting prepared for you, all of that. And we got there, we messed it up. Two paths was still in there. He still said it there. All right. So in the kingdom, he's going to take those paths away. It's only going to be one way. And that's now. We know the way. Just like on Star Wars. All right. Yahweh Shai is the way. And the gold of that land is good. There is bdellium. I don't even know what that is. And the onyx stone. Damn. And the name of the second river is the Gihon. The same is it that compasseth the whole land of Ethiopia. And you know how fruitful the land of Ethiopia is, rich it is. And the name of the third river is Hiddekel. That is it which goeth towards the east of Assyria. And the fourth river is the Euphrates. All right. Major trading routes. And Yahweh took the man and put him into the garden. All right. So he brought the man there first, basically saying, yo, I'm going to bring you out and give you a place to meet and be married. I'm going to marry you to a wife. Just like the Lord has us meeting with Yahweh Shai in a secret place. See that, man? He bringing us together. All right. So he brought out Yahweh Shai first, and he brought out Adam. And now he's bringing the bride next. That's already prepared. They're getting prepared. And Yahweh, the power, commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden, thou mayest freely eat. All right. So, you know, basically saying this is spiritual. You know, you hey man, eat whatever you want. You know, move around, man. You can go out there and speak to people in the forest and all that. Meaning amongst the people, amongst the trees, amongst the community. You know, but don't take in none of their knowledge, man. All right, go to teach and not be taught too. Don't let them influence you. Be in the world, but not of the world. That's what he was telling Adam. Like you can move around freely, man. Freely eat, go wherever you want. You could that was free will, meaning you can go where the hell you want. You got free roaming. You can you're not in prison here. You can move around. All right. But of the tree of knowledge and of good and evil, meaning going about your own way, you know, that's what the serpent tried to get him to do, to go about his own way. Man, don't listen to God, man, because he know if you do that, then you'll be just like him. If you just find out your own way, you see that'll lead us to sin and trespass against the Most High, because He knows what's good. But of the tree of knowledge and good and evil, thou shalt not eat. So we weren't supposed to experience that wickedness or evil or sin. For in the day that thou eatest thereof, thou shalt surely die, man. All right. Sheesh. All right. So anyway, I'm gonna keep. I know I'll get sidetracked. Let me keep going. And Yahweh Elohim said, It is not good that the man should be alone." So we had a breach right here. It wasn't good. Remember that he was saying everything was good. Created the universe, good, done. This was done. This was in order. I got animals, male and female. Now let me create man, male and female. Now let me create this individual, this leader that I'm gonna set up as a kingdom to till my earth and to put things in order. You know, and to be a vessel for Yahweh upon the earth. All right, but something ain't right. There's a breach. He needs a servant. You know, he needs a sidekick. He needs a helpmeet. He needs a team around him. All right, and it is so. It is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him a helpmeet for him. All right. So there other individuals had helpmeets, but he didn't have one. All right. That's why I say even today we are the Lord's portion. Just like all the nations are out here in the world, but we're the Lord's portion. All right. So I will make him a helpmeet just for him. Just how he made Israel just for Yahushua. We're the bride. He made this specific woman, built her up just for him. Look at the word helpmeet. Supposed to help him meet his task in life, you know, not hinder him or judge him. He supposed to judge you. You know, scripture say don't be bitter with your wives. What it means is not that you can't get angry or judge her, accuse, chastise, but um, meaning allow love to happen again, meaning forgive her, be forgiving towards her if she trespass against you, except for adultery. All right. If she's willing to apologize and get back in order with you, we're supposed to allow that. That's what it means. Not saying you can't get upset with your wife if she's tripping. And she tell you you say something to her and she got something to say every damn word you got to say. Nah, she's just being wicked. All right. Your wives out there need to listen to your husbands, need to be intimate with your husbands. Because if not, and you're supposed to manage the household, all these things. Oh, you're supposed to have money. Where to say that in the scriptures? That a man has to have money. You know, so the way of this world, man, you're gonna have men that are providers, then you're gonna have some that provide protection, spirit, financially, but it may be a roller coaster ride when um, it's in the hands of Esau, always pulling the rug from under our people's feet. All right, so you need to be solid with your man with your mate. So he says, "I will make a helpmeet." So let's get that word helpmeet. It says Izar. All right, Izar. Izara. Izar. You know, it could be Izar, Izara, and it means help or succor, one who helps, basically a teammate, a sidekick, an aide, just like Batman and Robin. Wait, well, you gotta be careful with that nowadays. Adam and Eve, right? This is America. You gotta be careful saying shit. So, Adam and Eve, man, you might well say sidekick. She was his sidekick, man. Right? Not that she should just be a slave. You know, you got a slave, then you got a sidekick. A sidekick gonna be your helpmeet. Okay, you're not supposed to walk around beating your wife. You know, um, that's something I don't believe in, man. Now hitting a woman that's different. You know, somebody hit you, you hit them back if it calls for it. But just being physical with your wife, man, you know, that's not your property. That's the Lord's property. Right? Even if it is your property, that's what the Lord said. Let's get that. Where is it? Was it First Peter 3:7? Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them. Wait, let's get that. Hold up. First Peter 3:6. First Peter 3:5. 3 and 4. Damn. 3 and 2. While they behold your chaste conversation coupled with fear, right? Whose adorning, let it not be the outward appearance, uh, uh, the outward adorning of plaiting their hair, like these African jakes do, the Egyptologists, who's our African ancestors. You see the dreadlocks and all this madness, right? I'm an Israelite. You have dreadlocks. Anyway, but plaits, right? It's not about showing off your hairstyles and all of that, which is in it says and of wearing of gold and of putting on of apparel, right? 'Cause these are things we had, our women had, because this was part of the beauty of our women. That's how they would dress. Right? They had their hairs plaited or braided. They would wear gold and beautiful apparel. But the Lord was saying, "No, that doesn't make you beautiful. That's not the beauty He's talking about. But let it be the hidden man of the heart, right? Your husband, or really the spirit of Yahweh Shai, is supposed to be within you, and that which is not corruptible by this world, even the ornament of a meek and quiet spirit." That mean you ignore your damn husband and be quiet? No, that means just being a quiet spirit. You're not a loudmouth. You know, like a lot of remember had that Jake woman that went over to Arabia and was in Dubai or something, just screaming and yelling at men, and she got locked up. Never heard about her again. All right, so a quiet spirited woman and meek, right? Now you didn't take me out nowhere. You don't do this. You don't do that. Take me somewhere. All right, let's go for a walk. That's meek. You know, not trying to be famous and shit like that, and be the loudmouth in the room or amongst men. You stepping out trying to talk and all that. No, the Lord said, be meek and a quiet spirit, which is in the sight of Yahweh of great price. So the Lord found this in that individual Eve. Right? He created this within Eve, man, at that time. All right, she was of great price, and Yahweh brought Eve to Adam. For after this manner in the old time, the holy women also, even Eve, who trusted in Yahweh, Eve didn't trust in Yahweh, adorn themselves, being in subjection under their own husbands. All right, that's the establishment the Lord set up with Adam and Eve. That the man was going to be over the woman. All right. Um, First, male and female created He them, but then He set Adam over Eve, and that set the order. All right. Even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord, and Abraham is very important to understand as well, as far as Adam and Eve being cousins, whose daughters ye are, as long as ye do well, and are not afraid with any amazement. All right, so don't be changing, man. As this world changes, the woman becomes corruptible. You know, you got to trust your man because you got to understand that you're the weaker vessel. All right. Listen to the direction of your husband, man. The only thing he's gonna do is guide you, unless he's a bad individual. All right. So here go the point. Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel. That's all she is, just a weaker form of you. She a human, you know, male and female created He them from the same ground, but just a lesser form of the man. She's not an animal like the animals He was naming, service animals and all that, but she's a animated being just like him. All right, a sidekick that can go into salvation with him, and as being heirs together. See, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, right? Having access to the tree of life. All right, but she got to be joined with you and learn from you, that your prayers be not hindered. All right. Finally, be ye all of one mind, having compassion one of another, love as brethren, be pitiful, be courteous. All right. So you love your wife like you same way you love your brother, man. Meaning love meaning order. All right. So be in order with each other, be in order amongst the brotherhood, and be in order amongst the house. You know, and that goes into intimacy because once a man and a woman stop having sexual intercourse, their relationship is kind of over. Relationship, intimacy. But other than that, they can still be in order as far as the household being in the scriptures. But the intimacy supposed to be there. All right. That's why I said it's not good for a man to be alone. All right. There was other people around, but he was saying, I brought this man into this enclosure. I'm not going to leave him here alone like that. I'm going to bring a woman to him from this vast world. He chose Eve and brought her to Adam. All right. So let's go back to Genesis and finish this out. Where was that? Genesis 2 and 16. And Yahweh commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden thou mayest eat. Man, you can go wherever you want out here, man. You can travel the whole vast world, you know. But of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, thou shalt not eat of it. So that system or immoral path of life, carnal. The Lord saying, don't go that path. All right, don't fall into the world. For in the day that thou eatest thereof, thou shalt surely die. That's it. We begin to sin. All right, that's a sin not listening to Yahweh. And Yahweh Elohim said, it is not good that man should be alone. All right, this was a breach. Okay. And the Lord had to fix that. Other than that, how would he populate? You know, he had to bring seed onto the earth over time. And I will make him a helpmeet for him. And he needed somebody to serve him and help be a helpmeet to him. Right. And out of the ground, Yahweh formed every beast of the field. See, he was looking for a helpmeet now. Right. All right. Beast of the field that would help him. So he created everything for his service. He had the fruit, he had the water, everything was flowing to him and out from him too. And then he was creating animals, you know, beasts of the field that he could choose from to serve for his service, and every fowl of the air that he could use for his service, right? That he could eat. You know, after he told me he could eat meat, what you know, really with Noah, but he can use them for his service. You know, like you see people using them damn falcons and hawks and messenger pit, you know, and birds could be used for whatever. And brought them unto Adam to see what he would call them. All right. That's why he looked at a lion. He said, Ariah, which means to tear, rip in pieces. You know, the eater is just eating shit and tearing stuff apart. So he's like, that's just tearing ass, ain't it? That's a that's that's a Rayala. I mean, Ariah, right? Or the Mayim. He said it was flowing, right? Two things that weren't connecting, meaning atoms that wouldn't connect, hydrogen. But he was looking at it saying flowing. So that's Mayim. And then space, he says Shemayim, right? And then the bear, it was moving slow, swinging at the ground. I forgot what that one was in Hebrew. But he looked at all the animals and their attributes and he named them. But he still hadn't found one for himself. The other piece to his puzzle. And whatsoever Adam, where was that? And whatsoever Adam called every living creature, that was the name thereof, right? And Adam gave names to all cattle and to the fowl of the air and to every beast of the field. But for Adam, there was not found a helpmeet for him. You see that? All the animals had theirs. You know, he had service. Probably use the cattle to till the soil. You know, this right here to do this. This animal to do that. But he hadn't had one to serve him, man. All right, it's crazy. So now, and Yahweh Elohim caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam. All right, what does that mean? To sleep. It doesn't mean like he was asleep, like knocked out, like snoring. What this means right here is what is it? That's a long word. Excuse me. This thing is tha or ta um the rod. Ma. All right. Taradma. All right. And it means they basically had him busy. You know, somebody in a trance, or they just um, in the spirit, right? Insensibility of the spirit, just saying, yo, he was just busy. He was all right. While he was occupied or in his enclosure, right? A lethargy, could imagine if or slothfulness. Imagine if Adam would have went out and found his own woman, just like you today, right? Imagine if we go out and find our own woman, just like chase it. I'm gonna get this my one. Hey, the Lord said we're not supposed to do that because we mess around and find a snake, a scorpion, or some shit, right? Hidden package, sleeper cell, right? Person omitted. So basically saying, yo, um, this kept him there, man. And he was, saying where you are without your woman today, man. He's like, damn, I need my one. I'm missing something. You know what I'm saying? So he was there like that in this enclosure, and the Lord saw that, just like He sees you today. All right, He getting women prepared for us. Was Isaiah chapter 4, if I'm not mistaken? So He getting them prepared for us even to this day. All right, we got to trust the Lord. We're in that same situation that Adam was in. So he had Adam occupied basically, and he said, "Yo, I'm gonna go get you a woman. All right, you stay here." He kept him like distracted, like he did with Abraham that time. All right, so he kept him busy, keep Adam from going out and finding one for himself. All right, after his own lust and desires. All right, let's go back. Second, Genesis 2:21. And Yahweh caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, had him busy, occupied, and he slept. All right, he was resting in this enclosure, and he took one of his ribs. So Yahweh went away from Adam and brought one of his ribs and closed up the flesh thereof instead thereof. All right, so let's break this down. This word rib, what is in the Hebrew? This word rib here is tazalwa. Tazalwa. All right, taza, la, and wa. Tazal, connectors at the bottom. Tazalwa. All right, and it means tazalwa. It means a side piece. So he created a rib, a side piece for him, a sidekick, like a plank. I would say like a beam, something that supports the house. Uh, a rib, it supports the body, right? It protects the vital organs. It's close to him. It's not his head. It's not his feet. His side next to him. Beams that hold up something. You know, a lot of you women not holding up your man mentally. You feel like it's too much. You're not holding him up intimately. You feel like it's too much for you. But you should be helping him find other wives. All right. Rib of a man, hill, ridge, etc. Side chambers or cells of a temple structure. That's the real one right there. So what's holding up the temple structure or support or side chambers? All right. So basically saying a sidekick. All right, that's what that means. Or or would say kin. Right, something close to him or kinfolk. Let me get that. Let me show you. Hold up. Red. Don't get that. All right, so let me see some. I'm trying to get something real quick. All right, it's gonna take too long. So basically saying his kinfolk. All right. So now let's keep going. All right. Mm. And it say he closed up the flesh. All right. And the word closed, sagara, sagar, sagara, it means to shut up or seal or close, shutting, right? To deliver up, to purify. So he purified their marriage. All right. They had sex. So they're basically sealing the covenant or shutting it up. That's like sealing it, right? Meaning there's no going back from this. He's never going to go back to being alone again. He's going to be. This was the order he set in place. So people see that and they think like, oh, he had a surgery. No, it means the Most High went and found him a woman and brought her to him, and then sealed it and said, "This is your wife." The woman is going to be under the man, and there's no disannulling this marriage right here. All right, he sealed it up so it wouldn't be opened again. And to close up a wound means to what? To make someone whole. What was Adam before that? What was the breach I said earlier? That he was alone. He was never going to be that way again. So he was made whole, sealing up the wound, right? He was made whole by giving him his woman. Now the temple is complete. Just like Yahushua. There's a breach, still something missing. He got the whole king, he got the universe, he got everything. But he needed his bride, he needed his kingdom. All right. So, and he took one of his ribs or one of his kinfolk, the women, that's the side piece for the male. He set that in order when he said male and female created he them. So what's the other counterpart for the male amongst humanity is the woman. So he took one of his kinfolk, but not one of the heads. But the men, he took a woman, one of the ribs, the help meet for the man. All right. And closed up the flesh thereof, flesh instead thereof, instead. So it's like old covenant, new covenant. Do you see where it's going? Old covenant, new covenant. The old way to the new way. And there's no going back from that. All right. And the rib, this will show you this was kinfolk. Matter of fact, yeah, we're gonna go there. All right. I don't know why it's not coming up on here though. It's been a while since I went into this. This was a topic asked about from a brother in the camp to another brother in the camp. You usually say it though, right here. Plank, corner. I'm trying not to go too far off and have to look for it. Because we're rolling right now. All right. Enclosed temple like ribs. Enclosing the temple like ribs. Damn. Protection. You women supposed to protect your husband. Not go out and physically fight, but you're supposed to protect his inner being, his heart, his organs, vital organs, man. His him. Shit. All right. Part of that hedge that's around him. Not becoming a prison to him. Or becoming thorns. All right. So 1 second. Let me get something real quick. All right. So hold up. While he slept, making her his kinfolk or equal counterpart, right? Equal to salvation. This act signifies they are the same substance, meaning humans, intended to be one flesh, though. See, they went from kinfolk of the same flesh, and then they went from that to one flesh, that union between the man and the bride, rather than inferior to him. All right, it's not about her just being inferior to him. It's just about being that counterpart, you know, kinfolk that became one flesh with him. All right, so what bothers him supposed to bother you, and vice versa. All right, yeah, Tazawa, which means rib, also means kinfolk. All right, so now let's go back. This right here should put the rib topic to bed, whether she was his cousin or not, kinfolk. All right, because here you go. Genesis 2 and 22, and the rib which Yahweh had taken from man, not from Adam, but just from amongst man, amongst humanity, amongst the males and females. He took the woman, all right, and made he a woman a servant. Did he turn it like today? He took a man and turned her into a woman. No, he took a woman, a rib, one of these females, and turned her into a woman. All right, male and female, you know, just like Paul was telling them, this difference between a male and a female. He gave one long hair, one a fro, you know, one would cover, one didn't have to cover his head, things like that. So he set the male and female character into place. But to be a woman is something different. To be a woman is to be employed and to living out your purpose. All right. He gave her to a man, a servant, and brought her unto the man. See, Adam didn't have to go out and find her himself. So he brought her to him. All right. Uh, she probably bad too, boy. And Adam said, "This is now bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh." All right. Now, what she wasn't before? Wasn't she? I thought she was a physical rib, like a ribeye, a beef rib. No, this is saying now she's bone. She become his now. She's his kinfolk. She's his family. That's what he was saying. You know, distant cousin, yeah, but now she's his family. Let's get that. Let's get into that real quick. I need a precept. What precept I need? So he said, what? Flesh of my flesh, bone of my bone, right? Okay, let's go into that real fast. All right. Here you go. The family of Abraham, you know, and let's use this as an example. All the red on the screen right now is the women, and the blue are the men. All right. And the black is the heathen nations, well, nations they come from. So now, understanding this, let's get the scripture. Let me go here. Flesh. All right. Let's get that. Let's go to Genesis 29 for this one. Okay, because there's numerous times within the scriptures where they use this phrase, flesh of my flesh, bone of my bone, meaning this was my cousin. This is my family. But now she's my family. She's my woman. All right, so now let's get to it. Here you go. It says Genesis 29, um, 13. And it came to pass when Laban heard the tidings of Jacob, his sister's son. Whoa, his sister's son. All right. Laban, his sister, who was it? Rebecca. All right. That was his sister, had a son from Isaac. And his name was Jacob. So that Jacob would be Laban's nephew or cousin, once removed or something like that, I think. Well, no, first cousins. They'd be first cousins. All right. So Laban and Rebecca were brother and sister. Rebecca and Isaac had a son named Jacob. All right. And Jacob was related to not only Laban through Rebecca, but also through her husband, Isaac. So he was related to all of them. I'm going to show you. And it came to pass when Laban heard the tidings of Jacob, his sister's son, that he ran to meet him, and embraced him, and kissed him, and brought him to his house. And he told Laban all these things. And Laban said to him, surely thou art bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. Meaning you my cousin. You your daddy's boy. You definitely my cousin. Yeah, you act just like cousin Ray and them. You know how Jake is. Surely thou art bone of bone, art my bone and my flesh. And he abode with him the space of a month. And Laban said unto Jacob, because thou art my brother, all right, or family member, also brother in the spirit, shouldest thou therefore serve me for naught? Tell me what shall be the wages. And Laban had two daughters, and the name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. So he married both of them. All right. So Jacob wound up, um, so he, let me show you something. Hold up. So mind you, here you go. You had Nahor, and Abraham. These were the sons of Terah and Haran, right? This is important. But the important one we're going to focus on today is Nahor and Abraham. From Abraham, you get Isaac, right? From Isaac, you get Jacob and Esau. But Jacob, that's the focus. From Nahor, which was the brother of Abraham, you get Bethuel. From Bethuel, you get Laban and Rebekah, brothers and sisters. From these two, you get Leah and Rachel. He married his his uh his aunt's daughters. And he also married his distant cousin as well. All right. Same way Adam married his distant cousin. All right, or kinfolk. And this was prominent in ancient times to keep our bloodlines strong. All right. They wouldn't marry like husband, father and daughter or nothing like that, but the cousins could marry. All right. So, and Adam said, "This is now a bone of my bone." Genesis 2:23. And Adam said, "This is now a bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh, and she shall be called woman." All right. This is a woman. It says a wife. All right. Female, woman. Now, opposite of man, we know it goes more detailed than that. Basically, the word for woman would be helpmeet. All right, serve. A wife dedicated to the husband. Often unexpressed in English, man. See that they took this away from the English. And adulterer, meaning like a sexual partner. All right. Um, make sure I ain't forgetting them. All right. So yeah, this is gonna be his woman, man. This is his piece right there. Is his ground that he was gonna fertilize and grow seed. The garden that he was gonna till. All right. Genesis 2:24. Therefore shall the man leave his father and his mother and cleave unto his wife. Right. So they cleave together. They become what? And they shall be one flesh. All right. Thus you have the topic of this lesson, from kinfolk to one flesh. All right. So the Lord created Adam and Eve and literally created them. He's creating our character. He's building our garden. He put us in the garden with Yahweh Shai now, the secret place. And he's building us. He's preparing wives for us. He's preparing. The kingdom is already prepared for us, just like he did with Adam. Just like Adam, Yahweh Shai is out in the heavens in that garden, that paradise, waiting for Eve to be created and brought to him. Go ye out to meet him, right? So it's all symbolic, really, of the salvation that's coming, and how Yahweh Shai was prepared for us, and we're being prepared for him. And then I got going to the part where they sinned and they started covering themselves, because that's all parabolic as well. So hopefully this was edifying. It says, and they both were naked. See, were they physically naked? No, it's talking about spiritually naked, meaning they had no covering yet. All right, just like us, when we were created as a nation, the Lord gave us the law, statutes. Well, when we were brought out of Egypt, we were known as Jerusalem, the mother. All right, um, the ones that went on the Exodus, but they still had no covering. The Lord gave us a covering by giving us the law, statutes, and commandments. All right. So in this case, Adam and Eve had no covering yet. They weren't really put in order fully yet. So, but they still hadn't sinned. They were just regular beings, man. But when they listened to that man and they decided to go their own way, you see, the Lord was trying to keep Adam from doing that. He said, "Yo, you ain't got to worry about nothing. I got everything flowing to you. I'm gonna go get you a woman. I'm gonna do all this for you. I got you." But still, when he first went out, that woman ventured off and listened to that other male of this world and brought that energy back to Adam. And then Adam began to destabilize and fall. And that's when they first felt that inkling of shame within themselves, of a returning back to the Father. It's like, whoa, I thought I was with the Father. What is this feeling of separation? So they tried to hide their sin. All right. So anyway, and they were both naked, the man and his wife, and were not ashamed. See, they were not ashamed because they didn't do nothing wrong. Okay. So hopefully this was edifying, man. Who is this? Sincere daughter of Yahweh Shai 444. Kind of Thawada. Beautiful lesson, Thawada Shalom. Hey, much respect, man. Appreciate y'all support. That's the goal. They say a wise man desires a listening ear. So hopefully this is edifying. You have any discrepancies out there with the word cousin or rib? What is the rib? The rib? We talking about physical rib? This rib? That rib? No, show them this lesson. All right, show them the lesson. Send it around. All right, you got the breakdown of the rib now. All right, with that, I'm saying shalom.